Hello, friends. Today we are going to make a self portrait collage. A self portrait is when you draw a picture of yourself, except for we're not going to draw it. We're going to do something called collage. Collage is a very fancy French word that means cutting papers out and gluing them on top of each other. So we're going to be making a collage. We're going to mix different paint colors that match our skin. Here's a story that I want you to listen to.
All the colors we are. The story of how we get our skin color. People have many different colors of skin. Even though we often say the words, he's black or she's white, all of us have skin that is a different shade of brown. What color is your skin? What name would you like to give the color of your skin? How do you think we get our own special color of skin? Can you make a guess? We get our skin color in 3 different ways. From our parents and from our relatives who lived long ago called ancestors. From the sun, and from something called melanin. Melanin is tiny grains of color in our skin. We can't see the tiny melanin grains, but we all have melanin in our skin. If you have dark skin, the melanin in your body is very active. If you have light skin, the melanin in your body is not very active. Freckles are spots on the skin that have a lot of melanin. No matter what color we are, our skin gets darker in the sun. The more we are in the sun, the darker our skin will get. Melanin's most important job is to protect our skin from sunburn. How does that happen? When we go outside, the sun and the air cause the melanin in our skin to get busy to keep our skin from burning. If we go out in the sun a little bit at a time, we will build enough melanin to protect our skin. If your ancestors from a long time ago lived in a place where there was a lot of sunshine and heat, they probably had dark skin. If they lived in a place with less sun and heat, they probably had light skin. When both parents have light skin, they usually have children with light skin. When both parents have dark skin, they usually have children with dark skin. When one parent has light skin and one parent has dark skin, their children's skin may be light, dark, or in between. The skin color we are born with comes from our parents and from our ancestors and where they lived a long time ago. Do you think your ancestors came from a very warm, sunny place? Or from a cool place with less sunshine? Dark skin, light skin, and skin with freckles are all caused by our parents and ancestors, the sun and melanin. Skin color is one of the many ways people are special and different from each other. All
These are the elements of art. The element of art that we're going to be looking at today is color. What is color? What is skin? What is skin color? Why is it important? Why is it not important? Why might some people find it hard to talk about this? Our skin color is unique. Look at all the different shades. Today, we are going to try to paint some of those shades. So we're going to mix skin colors right now, different tones. And this little area of your paint is called the palette, and that's where you're going to mix the different skin tones. And you're going to practice making a practice sheet first with different colors. And you're going to add water to your palette right here. And I'm going super slow just so you could see where the palette is and where you're going to add water. So I'm going to dip my brush into the clean water and I'm going to add water to that palette. And we're just going to make a test strip. And now it's going to go a little bit faster. So I add water to my palette and I start out with a little bit of yellow and a little bit of orange. And this way you can control the colors. And I start with my lightest color first, and I water it down quite a bit. I add a little bit of white there, a little bit more, and I'm just controlling the colors. It's very light and just a touch of brown. And then you're going to see I start adding more and more brown, and I just make my very lightest color first. And then I'm going to decide, after I've made all of my test strips, which color skin I like the best for me. Now I'm going to add a little bit more brown, mix it around, and make another test strip. And you can see it's very slight difference, but we're all different shades. Add a little bit more brown, and I keep doing this and mixing it around until it gets darker and darker and darker, and then I figure out which color I think is going to be the best for me, and then I'm going to paint an entire paper that way. Now you can see I'm starting to have to add a little bit more brown each time to get it darker, because I have so much more paint that it takes a lot more brown to add. I'm going to add a little bit more white just to give it a little bit more opacity, and a little bit more yellow, a little bit more orange. Now I'm adding more and more brown, a couple more. And you can see it's getting much darker now. I haven't added black yet because right now I'm in the tannish colors. But you'll see as I get further down, I'm going to start to add little drops of black to get it a little bit more richer of a brown tone. So I keep going. Adding more brown. A little bit more orange, but it's just not quite the right tone for some people's skin. So you'll see, now I'm going to start to add a little bit of black to it. Now it's beginning to look more like other people's skin tones that are darker, because it just was getting too orangey and too browny, and it wasn't looking like the skin tones that I've seen other people have. that don't look like me. So I was trying to replicate other skin tones that don't look like me. Which is hard because it's not my skin tone. So it's hard for me to think about what colors I need to add to make them look richer and darker. So I was trying to think more browns and more blacks to give it a richer tone rather than an orangey tone. And think I think I had done my job rather than making it light brown. I was trying to get it richer and darker. And if you need to keep going, then you keep going. But you could see once they start to dry, you get all these different colors. Then what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to wipe out my palette. And you can see I have all my colors here, but I'm going to need to wipe out my palette and I'm going to need to start over so I can paint an entire page just that color. And that's all you're going to do today. You are going to take an entire page and make the color that you think best matches your skin. So I'm starting with, what's neat is my paint water is already started a little bit of a color. So I start with some yellow and some brown. And you can see it's already got kind of that color, right? And a couple drops of that. I start using some yellow orange. And you can see I have some blue-green kind of mixing in there, which is kind of odd for me, but it's looking a little orangey for me. So I start mixing it in. And I need to make enough to cover my whole paper. I need to make enough. And the only reason why I'm adding white is so it gets kind of a little bit more opaque. And I decided to switch my brush to a thicker brush that will help me just cover my paper a little bit more. So I start making a little bit more paint. And the more water I add, the thinner, the lighter my color will be. So I start adding a little bit more paint. And then I just go up and down on my paper and cover my entire paper. And there you have it. So we're going to mix skin colors right now, different tones. And this little area of your paint. So what are you going to do now? You are going to write your name on the back of your paper just in case it gets lost. You're going to mix your colors and then you're going to paint your colors. Are you ready to get started? Get started.